name is Ebony Harris.
And I'm Elisa Bokeen. And we are two brown chicks changing the face of therapy on both sides of the couch.
Yay! Welcome back. Thank you for joining us as always. We appreciate you. Happy belated Psychotherapy Day.
National Psychotherapy Day yesterday.
And we hit 10,000.
10,000 on Instagram.
So thank you so much.
That's a sign from the universe.
That's a sign.
It's National Psychotherapy Day. You just hit 10,000. Wink.
So we definitely appreciate all of your support. And for that, we are offering you 10% off all merchandise on melaninandmentalhealth.com for the next 10 days. Woo! And also, if you, with the code IGHIT10K. IGHIT10K, all lowercase. Also, if you are a therapist in private practice, we are offering you 1 month free on the directory. You just have to go sign up, complete the registration process, stop when it asks you for payment. We'll go through and we'll approve you within 24 hours. So that's our way of saying thank you. And also with that, for people that have been on that directory in the past, we're going to give you a month free as well. So all of y'all will start getting emails like, oh, your listing has been approved. Yes. You're going to be like, where'd this come from? Right. We're doing it for everybody, 1 month free, for getting us to 10K. We really appreciate it.
For helping us change the face of therapy.
Yes.
Right? That's what we. I was like, wait, but yes.
That's what we say. Changing the face of therapy on both sides of the couch.
Yeah.
And therapy is dope when you have a dope therapist.
A dope therapist.
So thank you. Today we have Tatiana Scott.
Woo! Fit with curves, my
face.
I love her so much. I just love this woman.
You're so sweet.
So excited that you're here.
How did you find her?
How did I find you? So I was invited to be part of Joy Hutton. It was Walker's Legacy, right?
Yeah, it was Walker's Legacy.
She put together this a self-care event, and I was on the panel, and Tatiana was on the panel, and loved her just immediately. And then I'm like, I need to follow her on Instagram, and started doing some. I need to get in there more regularly with her. I wish I could be there every day with her because she's awesome. I could go on and on.
You're awesome.
That's awesome. That's good.
That's the thing about her though,
yeah.
is because I've worked with trainers before, and the thing about her is she'll push you, but in like this, she's got like this really sweet way of pushing you that you don't even realize. You realize she's pushing you, but you want to be pushed.
Right.
She's not like
aggressive and like.
She's not like drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And she'll just like, I know it sucks. Okay, come on, keep going.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, Tatiana. She's awesome.
That's funny. Well, we appreciate you being here. We're going to talk a little bit about fitness, body image, especially women and body image and things like that. So before we get into that, can you tell us a little bit about what you do and how you got to this point of being this fitness trainer?
Yep. So I actually went to school for kinesiology, so I have a degree in body mechanics. Mm-hmm. I'm a certified personal trainer and certified fitness nutrition specialist. I'm also a certified group fitness instructor. Okay. I started this a little bit after high school, where most of us gain weight, right? Because you're not walking around as much. I've always, right after high school, I started gaining weight, and that's when I realized I need to get into the gym. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people who have to work hard just to maintain a healthy weight. Mm-hmm. And so just from coming from a background with a lot of minorities, dealing with diabetes and high blood pressure that runs in my family, I knew that I was going to have to work super hard if I wanted to stay healthy and be able to maintain a healthy weight. So I got in the gym, I started working out, and I started falling in love with it. Yeah, so at a very young age, yeah.
That's awesome. Right. I want to fall in love with it. I want to fall in love with working out. I really do. I want to fall in love with it.
I think I've come to terms that I'm not going to fall in love with it. It's just a necessary evil. I don't know. Maybe I will, but I feel like it's just like it's something and it does afterwards. You feel good.
You do.
During it, it's kind of like, ugh.
You know what? I love it, and I wish I could love it on my own. I love it like when I'm with you.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I love it, and I think it's because I'm distracted also by like, hey, we're chatting and this and that. So I wish I could love it and go in by myself and be like, yeah, I love it. I'm such a
You need a workout buddy.
I am.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You need a workout buddy.
I do.
Or you to join a group fitness class or a Zumba class or something that that's in a group environment.
I need to just be your neighbor.
Yeah. That would definitely work too.
Are you at home? I need a workout partner today.
Tatiana,
Right,
come motivate me.
Right.
I'll be there. I can do it.
I'll be available.
Yeah.
So I know we all get messages about, or especially women get a lot of messages when it comes to body image, weight, size, shape, all of those things. And it starts at a very young age. Did you ever struggle with any of that? Or do you remember like a moment when somebody made you aware of like your body and what it was or what it wasn't?
I did. I grew up in San Antonio, so I was born and raised in San Antonio, and you know about San Antonio, it's not a huge black population, and so or just a huge minority population as far as like blacks go. And growing up, I guess curvy. So I've always been curvy, even as a little girl. I was like I had a little bit bigger butt than probably a normal little girl than another little girl, right? So I used to walk around. I remember walking around even elementary school. I remember, as a young girl, like a guy coming up to me in gym class and saying, why is your butt so big, And so I remember being very self-conscious of my body type. Even as a young age, I used to walk around with a sweater over my waist, tied around my waist. And so I had, a negative self-image of the way that I looked or the way that God made me at a young age. And so those are the things that I, of course, had to overcome. But yeah.
And I think that's the thing is, because I was kind of thinking about like how early on like it happens and the conflicting messages that women get, girls get, right? Because it's like I was on the other spectrum. Like I wanted to be curvier, right? Like I remember my cousin, she was curvier and I wasn't, and she's like, you really like you don't have any boobs, like you're so flat, and I was like, I'm tying the sweater for the wrong reason.
But my sweater up to my neck.
I want to be curvy, So it's like we can't win. Like with the message, we just can't. We just can't.
I think it's conflicting. I think that word is very, because like even to the point of this is what you need to look like to attract men, but then at a young age being told that something was wrong with your body because you were too big in these places.
Right.
And so it's like, okay, so when I'm younger, there's something wrong with me because I had the same issue as you.
Right, exactly.
I had a big butt since I was a kid, and people made comments about my butt as a kid. And I'm like, I'm a child. Like, why is that even a point of conversation? But then as you get older, it's like, well, men love curls and curves. And so then it turns into like, okay, so am I supposed to be curvy for men, but people have told me my curves are not okay? Right. What about me being curvy for myself? Is that okay?
Well, it's never, the message is never that it's for you.
It's never for you. It's for everybody else.
It's always for somebody else. It's that being objectified, like being objectified and by adult men at a really young age,
especially brown girls, black and brown girls.
Yes, I remember visiting my family in Mexico and being like 12 and just walking, and like the men literally like catcalling you, and I'm like a little girl with my parents, you know, and just kind of like this understanding, like, yeah, that's kind of what happens. Don't wear your shorts too short, or don't, and just remember feeling like, just the threat that we feel at different levels, just for being in your body.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
Which
is why I loved what you were sharing that day.
So when y'all met, she was talking about your own struggles.
You were talking about kind of like so this is what I loved about her, was you kind of had this journey, and you were actually in doing fitness competitions, right?
Yeah, I did. So in 2012, I competed in my first fitness competition. I want to say that I lost 50 pounds in 5 months.
And how?
Right. So what I did, so it was back to the basics, right? That we all know. So lean proteins, complex carbohydrates. So your whole grains like quinoa and brown rice and sweet potatoes. I was eating green vegetables, green beans, broccoli, asparagus. And I was working out. I was doing cardio twice a day. I'm one of those people who, again, if I want to lose weight, and again, this is not, I'm saying like this is me going from like 175 to like 125 pounds.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I was like, because you had said you'd always been fit anyways, and so like to lose 50 pounds.
Right.
Like, what was, so
What was the mental strain? I wonder even.
Yeah, like what was that?
Yeah, even my older sister, she always said, I remember her coming over to my house one night, and I was like literally going to the gym to do cardio at 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, so it is, I would probably say it is 90% mental. And what I learned at that time was that, well, first of all, I don't have to be skinny to be fit, right? Or to be healthy, right? But I did it because I was trying to enter that fitness competition.
Yeah.
And in order to win, you have to look a certain way, right? So they want you to be super lean and normally super thin, especially in the bikini competition. And we all know that's not my body type. Right. And so I had to work hard in order to try to look like what they wanted me to. And so I just remember the mental strain on that. I mean, it was huge. I did cardio twice a day. Yeah. So I was waking up in the morning time, and I was doing 45 minutes of cardio in the morning. Then I would come back and do my training session, and then another 45 minutes in the evening.
Wow.
And I remember not having sugar at all for 5 to 6 months, not eating anything off the plan, no alcohol, no nothing.
What was that like? Because on some, you know, we're kind of in this detox era, right? Like where everybody's on a detox, you know, the green juice detox, whatever. Like everybody's detoxing, and I think, you know, I think there's definitely benefits to a lot of that. I think sometimes, just like we do in our culture, in our society, we kind of like then overdo something but I'm curious as to like what the experience was. You're seeing your body change. You are detoxing essentially. No sugar, no alcohol. What was that like for you, just mentally, emotionally, to be experiencing all that?
I remember.
Did you choke anybody?
I didn't choke anybody. But it is like a little bit stressful because you're looking at yourself and you're like I was like, how do you go from 175 to like 125 and you're like at 140 and you're still like, look like I'm still big, you know? And so you have to like tell yourself, like, I just remember like you become so vain. And you become to where like you're just focused on about the way your body looks. Like, oh, I still have a little bit of love handle, or I still have, you know, I still have a little bit of fat underneath my butt that I need to remove, you know, or that I need to try to burn off through doing more cardio and eating clean. When really those little details does not depict your fitness level or your health level. And so
So you kind of realized it wasn't all fitness that you were at. It was this hyper awareness of what your body looked like.
Yeah,
exactly.
As right. How healthy you felt.
Right, right. So when you're doing these fitness competitions, a lot of times, or many times, it's not about they don't care about what your blood work looks like or what your kidney levels are looking like. They're looking at a certain look when you walk across that stage.
The exterior. Right. It's not really fitness.
It's not really fitness. No, they don't know what you did to get there. They're just looking at exactly what you're looking like on stage, and so you begin to realize that. So
how was that with your relationships with other people during that? Was it just like you were isolated because you had to?
It was amazing because I remember, of course, at first, you know, it was a little difficult not having sugar, not having alcohol. But eventually, I will tell you that your body you do get used to it. And once you get all those cravings out of the way and all that bad food out of the way, you do get used to what you're eating. And so there were certain times where I was eating a piece of Ezekiel bread and I thought it tasted like pizza, you know, and people were like, oh, you're crazy girl. But really, after you get all the bad stuff out, you begin to really think that healthy food tastes good. And so there was definitely some benefits of doing that as well.
So other people were just like, okay, we don't get it, but
exactly. So like that. But I remember like, you know, going out with my girls still, and it was so crazy, y'all gonna look at me like I was crazy, but I remember like going to like a daytime party, and I had a protein powder in my hand, and I would like pour it in the thing, and I was mixing it up, and I was drinking it, you know.
Protein powder at the day party.
So you get to the point to where you're like so focused on your goal, committed to your goal. You know you're about to walk across this stage, and you know you have to look a certain way when you walk across this stage. And so you focus on your goal. And you don't stop until you reach that goal.
Was there any mental or just what happened once you then finished the competition? You've done it, and now life is back to quote unquote normal.
Right.
Did it take you some time to even get back to that?
It did. It was really bad. Because I remember walking across the stage, right? And of course, you know, I'm down to like 125 pounds. I'm 5'5", and I'm still bigger. My legs, my lower body as a pear-shaped girl is still much bigger than the other girls that are on the stage, you know? So they're looking at me and like, at 125 pounds, I still look bigger than this other girl that's 125 pounds or 120 pounds, you know? And so you begin to kind of like think about your body, like what in the world? You begin to compare yourself to somebody else, which is what you shouldn't be doing, right? And you just kind of feel bad about yourself because you realize I guess you think to yourself like, gosh, I put myself through all of this for 5 to 6 months to lose 50 pounds. And the only thing that they care about is what I look like on the stage. They didn't care that the girl next to me has a fast metabolism and already had their ideal body shape, you know?
Yeah.
And so you do begin to, like, I remember walking on stage and I was crying because, you know, they told me that my butt was still not as firm as they wanted it to be.
They said that?
Yeah, I went up there and asked. I asked, like, you know, well, why? And they said my butt wasn't as firm as what they wanted it to be.
Which it might not ever be.
It won't ever be because
that's shape.
That's how I'm shaped. I gained my weight there, and even at 125 pounds, you know, it's going to be a little bit jiggly in that area. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Thank goodness.
Right, exactly. Right? So it was an experience, and it showed me what your body can go through, and what your body is capable of. And so a lot of times we think, oh, I can't lose that. Well, you can.
You can.
It's all about what you want to do to get there.
Yeah.
And even from the way you're describing it, the things we'll put ourselves through also, right? In order for sometimes that trying to fit that ideal body type, right? Because like my heart like sunk when you said like the idea of like, yeah, you just put in all this work, all this energy, you're at the day party with the protein.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
And then for all of that, and then to say you still got a little bit too much jiggle. Like, oh my God. And I haven't eaten, and I haven't drank, and I haven't
exactly. So you can imagine how I felt.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to go fight them for you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So and you just begin to realize that that I can be fit and healthy, and I don't have to be a size 2 or 3. I don't have to look like the girl next to me.
Where was that realization for you? Because I feel like not everybody gets to that though.
Right. And I think it was from I guess just getting to that point, right? So getting to the point to where I was 125 pounds. And I was fitting in a size, 6 in pants and, probably extra small in tops. And you begin to realize, like, I'm never going to be skinny.
Yeah.
And so you begin to realize, like, I can work hard, I can do all this cardio, but my body type is not meant to look like the skinny girl who's a size 0 and up and down.
And I think that's the thing that as women, right? Well, I'll say for myself, like how we define skinny,
right?
Because I'm like, that's skinny,
right,
like that's good. You know what I mean?
Right,
it's like, and so this idea of being skinny, and I just kind of like thinking about that 125.55. Oof,
right.
I think I was probably like a freshman in high school, maybe, you know what I mean? So it's just again this idea. It's like how we internalize all these different messages. We get the message of what the standard is, standard skinny, and then what we think that looks like also. Because I've seen some of your pictures from back then. I'm like, I see you today, and I'm like, she looks amazing. She's fit and she's beautiful, but just how sometimes it's so difficult for us to see ourselves, right? And
true.
all these messages that were going in there inside, and so
true.
I love that you were able to make that transition though, to say, wait, I don't have to look like that to be healthy and fit.
Exactly. Right, and then you can be the fit version of you.
Right.
It's important for you to become the fit version
of yourself.
And I remember even like, so prior to going into fitness and nutrition for the last 5 years, I sold insurance. And I remember having to go for a life insurance exam. And I remember like the rest of the girls in the office being probably like 20 pounds, or 30 pounds lighter than me. And so we all took, they've all done life insurance exams before, and I remember them talking about it. And if you've, of course, ever taken a life insurance exam, then you know that you have to get blood work done, and they rate you based on what they think your life expectancy is. And so I remember, even though I was 30 pounds heavier or 20 pounds heavier than most of the girls in the office, my rating was like 2 times better than theirs. And so then you begin to realize that it's not about what you look on the outside, right? It's about what's going on inside your body. So what I tell my clients all the time, it's important for you to understand the importance of how your kidneys are functioning, how your liver's functioning, what your heart's doing. And that's the true depiction of health, not what you look like on the outside. You know?
Yeah.
So,
and that's the difficult part, because I don't think we, as a culture, we talk a lot about health and nutrition,
but it's all about the physical.
But it's not really.
Right.
Oh, you should be healthy. What is that sometimes code for?
Right.
Yeah.
Is you should look a certain way.
Exactly. Right.
And even when we're talking about body positivity, that's the first thing somebody say was like, oh, well, I'm not talking about how they look physically, but are they healthy? And it's like, well, how do you know they're not healthy?
Right.
How do you know they're not working out every day and like, you know, eating right and things like that, and this is just what their body looks like?
Or how do you know that the thin person
is
healthy?
Right.
Because I know plenty of
you're not
thin
having that same
people that are
conversation with a thin
like,
person, right?
you're one, step away from, like some major sort of physical stuff coming up. So, I think it's valuing nutrition and health. Like, we don't necessarily value that. Like, we want. Actually, well, I'm saying me.
No, it's true. No,
I want the payoff.
I gotta eat like this every day, not drink.
Right.
Work out 3-4 times a week. I want to make sure my body looks tight and all this other stuff. And then when you don't get that physical payoff, then it's like, oh, well, your liver's functioning well.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Oh, your kidneys, like,
right.
Nobody's,
looking at my kidneys.
Nobody's on Instagram like, my kidneys are.
Right, exactly. Right.
Oh, she cute, her kidneys, and just, we just seek so much of the external validation.
Right. That's true.
So you're very big on body positivity, obviously. Elisa said at 12 years old, you told yourself a certain message, and what was that?
Right. So at 12 years old, if I had to tell myself a certain message, it would probably be more so like, love yourself, love who God made you, right? So love yourself how you were made, and become the fit version of you. So don't worry about comparing yourself to the next person, but become the fit version of you. And that's about, eating properly, right? And doing cardiovascular exercises and lifting weights or building that lean muscle. And as you begin to focus on your health, everything else will follow. But you becoming the fit version of you does not mean that you necessarily have to be that size 0 or size 2. There's a beautiful plus size models on Instagram that work out all the time and eat healthy. And there might be a size 12 or 14, but if they went to go get blood work done, their blood pressure is amazing, they don't have diabetes, they're in a perfect state of health. And so it's important that you start focusing on your health and not so much on, oh, I had this little love handle.
Right. So more about,
or this baby on here.
So it's more about like taking care of the body that you have, but not being so focused on what that body looks like, because it's not going to look like the next person, because everybody's body is different.
That's true, right?
Yeah. And I think that's something that most of us struggle with.
I was just going to ask, like, can you give us like a very kind of tangible practice that you began to do? Like, some people do affirmations, because I think that's one of the things is like, we'll hear that sometimes, like, love your body or love yourself, self-love. So what is one thing you do, right, to kind of begin to rewire that brain and how we kind of view ourselves, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. It does make sense. So for me, of course, like, I'm deeply rooted into, like, I have, I guess my personal relationship with God is huge for me. And so I just always focus on, like, he uniquely made you, right? So I tell myself, like, he uniquely made me, and he made me just like how he wants me to be made. And so when you think about it like that you're like no one else, and you have a special gift and a special purpose, then it just allows you to see yourself in a different light. That you're not supposed to look like anybody else. You're supposed to look like yourself.
So for you, your faith and your spirituality is the way that it's the anchor that you go back to reinforce the message of, I'm going to love this body.
Right.
Okay. Love that.
That's true. Yeah.
Awesome. What is your favorite resource or book?
Right. So favorite resource of books. So I'm big into self-help books as an entrepreneur. You know, I have, you know, great months and then I have not so good months.
Yes.
Right. And so you kind of have to.
Yeah. No. We get it.
So you kind of have to, like, you know, just keep yourself motivated every day. So of course, outside the Bible, I do certain books. Like one of my favorite books that I always go back to is The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz.
Okay.
It's just really good. So because, you know, it's huge. I believe that, you know, now as I've gotten older, you begin to realize how powerful your thoughts are.
Oh,
right.
Sure.
And so it's important for you to, you know, think powerful. And so that book is great. And, like, you know, showing you that you need to think big and you need to talk big and you need to be mindful of what you tell yourself every day.
I love that. The magic of thinking big. I'm going to be on Audible today.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So why is self-care dope?
Right. For me, self-care is dope because it's like this is the only body that God has blessed you with, right? You don't get another body.
Right.
And so it's important for you to take care of it. Growing up and seeing, you know, I guess my mom go through diabetes. She's diabetic, and she's had, like, you know, some bad spells of diabetes where she's, like, had toes amputated, and seeing, like, you know, other family members get toes amputated. And so you begin to realize how important it is to take care of yourself.
Right.
When you take care of yourself, it kind of just falls over to every other part of your life, into your relationships. Like, I feel like when you look good and you feel good, you also, you know, you command other people to treat you how you treat yourself.
Say that again, because I think that's, as a relationship therapist.
Right.
Say that again.
Okay. So what I feel like is when you're in a relationship, right, and you are working out and you know that you look good and you're feeling good, like, you just don't allow somebody else to treat you any kind of way. Right. So if you take care of yourself and you know you look good and you feel good, it kind of like you command that other person to treat you like you treat yourself.
Right.
And so
because you're used to being treated well.
Right.
I
You
treat
take care
myself
of yourself.
well.
Right.
I prioritize my health, and yes, love that.
Yeah.
So not only is it's kind of about, like, physically I feel good or look good, but also I take care of me.
Yeah.
And so that if I take care of me, I'm going to recognize when you don't.
Right.
That's exactly what it
I
is.
love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So what makes you dope?
What makes me dope? That's hard because I'm always.
That is not hard because you're so dope.
You're so sweet. So I don't know. What I say is that, I mean, I love what I do, and my passion is, like, helping people, and I love helping. So of course, with my brand name Fit with Curves, I tend to, you know, get a lot of women. I tend to train a lot of women, and so what I find is that, like, I just feel comfort in, like, helping you look in the mirror and feel better about yourself. And so I go above and beyond for my clients. Like, you see, like, even when I'm training her, like, I want my clients to feel like they're, you know, it's special, right?
It is. You're so good at that. I can say you do that.
So I not only care, of course, about you know, about helping you reach your physical goals and your health goals, but I also, of course, I want to make sure that you're healthy throughout the process. So I stretch my clients.
Yes.
We do.
I tend to get real tight, so she'll get in there, and I'm like, oh my God, she is so strong.
So funny. Everybody says that. So some of my clients won't even let me do it because they're but it really does. You want to get in there and you want to do the foam rolling or myofascial release. It gets the tight spots out of your muscles. It helps prevent you from getting injured when we're working out in the future. And so, yeah, I just love women. I love empowering women. I just feel like health and wellness is huge. And it's so important for you to focus on yourself. And because, again, it'll make every other part of your life better.
And she's so cool about it too. Like, she just normalized everything. So when she's foam rolling me because I get really tight, and I'm like a hot mess in there. I'm like, oh my God! I'm like rolling around. I'm like, oh my God! And she's like, okay. People are walking by like, what are you doing to this door? And she is. You are so good about educating and empowering your clients. And she's so cool in the gym, because if you go to the gym, it's like a bunch of dudes, right? I'm like, how do you do this? Because there's like a lot of testosterone in there, and she's just so like, excuse me, get herself. I think, you know, it is very empowering, and the way that you model that also for your clients, that's why you're dope. That's one of the reasons.
So tell people how to find you if they want to book with you. How do they do all that?
So you can find me on all social media platforms at Fit with Curves. You can check out my website, fitwithcurves.com. I do online fitness challenges. I do meal plans. I do workout plans. I do personal training, or private training. I do small group training. And you can find all that on my website at fitwithcurves.com.
You have that group class, right? Your burn fat,
not curves. Yes, burn fat, not curves. I do a resistance band. It's actually my own resistance band, and it's a pretty tight resistance band.
Yes, it is. She had me doing that one day, and I'm like, she's like, okay, the class is 30 minutes?
Right, yes.
I'm like, Tatiana.
right. And so after the class, you will feel it in your glutes and your legs, but it's a good class.
And you also sell the band.
I do. I sell the band. I sell the band, and you can find that on fitwithcurves.com too.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna have to go back with you because I just had some chilaquiles.
You know, ma'am, not okay.
I know. I told her, I was like,
she trying to holler.
Tatiana's on her way, and I haven't seen her like in a week and a half.
And of course, today is the day that we never had lunch beforehand. Today is the day when she has like, let's go get tacos.
Well, let's go get coffee and then the taco truck, and so it wasn't my fault.
Okay.
It was their fault for being there.
You have a pass
Today. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching and listening.
Yes.
You can follow us across social media at Melanin and Mental Health, Melanin Health on Twitter, and melaninandmentalhealth.com. Make sure you go over there and check out the directory. Sign up for the directory. You have until the 5th. I think that's 10 days. You have until the 5th to sign up, and you get a free month. So go check it out. And that is for anybody, whether you've been on a directory before or not. As well as 10% off the merchandise. And this Thursday, tomorrow. Hey, Lisa.
I am going to be leading anybody who works with relationships. You got a couple that comes in, they're having relationship issues, and then they start talking about, we're not having sex.
Right.
And you don't know what to do at that point. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm hosting a webinar tomorrow, why couples avoid sex and how therapists can help bridge the gap. So I am going to help you answer some of those questions, tell you what to do, how to know when to refer out. That way you can feel a lot more confident when you're working with couples and some of these issues arise. So sign up for the webinar. It is tomorrow. A lot of the questions have been, if I'm not able to tune in live, can I watch the recording? Yes, you will have access to the recording. So make sure you go to our website to check it out. Yeah.
And if you haven't signed out, for those that are listening, we will have it on the website in the following week, and you can buy it directly from the website after the webinar. So check it out.
And you are going to be, I'm trying to get there too. I am trying to get there too.
Going to be in LA.
Melanin and Mental Health will be in LA.
Melanin and Mental Health will be in LA. Hopefully both of us.
Yes.
To speak at Therapy Reimagined Conference, and we're also having a happy hour that Friday at the hotel Doubletree. Thank you. I'm like, what is the name of this hotel? At the Share Lounge. Is that the name of the lounge?
It's at the Doubletree.
The Doubletree Lounge. We're having a happy hour that Friday night. Us and Film It, which I don't even want to. Ernesto Segimundo. If you are a therapist that always looks into like doing videos and things like that, you know who he is. We'll be hosting the happy hour together. And then we have a lot going on. We're just going to leave it with those two for now.
Go to the events page. Sign up for the newsletter. Keep you up to date with all of that. But
it's a lot.
Drop us a line. Let us know what you want to see more of. Yada, yada, yada. We love y'all. We had a great happy hour last week.
Yes, Friday. Thank you for everybody that came out. It was amazing. It was fun.
Houston
In the rain, they still came.
Houston hates rain.
So we appreciate you all. And we will talk to everybody next week.
Bye. Thank you, Tatiana.